especially like to point out these pigeons just because that gorgeous iridescent coloring on them. It's just absolutely beautiful. Nicobar pigeons are one of the few bird species that don't have predators on the ground. So that's why they're perfectly content to be on the ground. They don't really need to be in a tree the way most birds do.
How do you spell that?
That's a great question. Nicobar is N-I... C-O-B-A-R would be my guess, or K-O-B-A-R. Yeah. And they're named for the Nicobar Islands, which is where you find them. Now, you just saw that Bobcat drive-thru. There's not going to be any elephants in this area. Yeah, if there's people in there, there's not elephants. Elephants are under what's called protected contact, meaning that if there's an elephant, there's no people, and vice versa. And that we do that with any predators that are larger, just for their safety and our safety, as well as animals that are as big as an elephant. Because an elephant, all it takes is them stepping backwards and not seeing us. And not only can we get really hurt, but that also puts a really bad mark on that animal for a pretty unfair reason. So we want to make sure to keep everybody safe. So we're going to make sure that if we're in there, they're not.
When you need to move them to a different area, how do you do that?
Great question. When we need to move them to a different area, we ask them to move. Yeah, plain and simple. We work with them every day. These animals know us, they trust us, and we also make sure that we're rewarding them for doing what we ask and hanging out with us and all that fun stuff. So they know that if we're asking them to move, it's for a good reason, and we're going to give them a reward. So we just say, hey, can we get you to move over here? And generally they will. We have a huge, too. The elephant area is 2.5 acres all told, so there's lots of space. You just saw we had 2 whole things closed. We've still got more than enough room for our 4 elephants. And we have more than enough room to have the boys in one area and Shaba in a different. We will, because elephants are social, sometimes let her interact with the boys. Generally, she looks at us like we're crazy when we do that, so we don't do it too often. So we kind of give her her own space. Over here is going to be our camels. On a single hump, they're gorgeous. These are what's called dromedary camels. Easiest way to remember what kind of camel you're looking at. Dromedary starts with a capital D. Dromedary camels have 1 hump. Bactrian starts with a capital B. Bactrian camels have 2 humps. So if a dromedary camel has 1 hump and a Bactrian camel has 2 humps, what do you call a camel with 3 humps? Pregnant. How about a camel with no humps?
Oh no.
A horse.
Humphrey. Thank you, I'll be here all day. Alrighty. Now give me just a moment. In a minute we are going to hop off. But before we do that, I want to give you some instructions here, just because this is an area where we have a very food-motivated animal. So we are going to go back, and you guys are going to help me feed the guanacos today, which is really fun. Guanacos are the animal that the llama descended from. So if you think of like a llama, but a little less hairy, basically, and a little smaller, that's what we're going to go and feed. There is also, though, a llama. His name is Ed, and he is especially food motivated. So if we are feeding the guanacos, we also have to make sure we are feeding Ed at the same time, for the same amount of time, because otherwise he will steal lettuce from the guanacos. So I am going to have 2 kind of separate groups. So you guys can kind of switch back and forth if you'd like, but we do need to make sure someone is constantly feeding Ed, because otherwise he will come steal. When we're doing this, we want to make sure that we are feeding forward or to the side. We never want to be feeding backwards, because your head and your hair are here and your eyes are not. We also want to make sure, oh, isn't he gorgeous?
Who am I looking at?
That is our California condor.
Yeah.
Right up top of that rock. We're going to come around.
Oh, there I see him now. There he goes.
We're going to come around and we're going to see him really well in a second. But first, let's come feed our guanacos.
Okay.
So we want to make sure, like I said, forward or to the side. We don't want to go backwards because our head and eyes are right here. We also want to make sure that we're not teasing the animals. If you're holding out food for them, give it straight to them. These guys will spit.
Okay, go for it.
So make sure we're not teasing, we're giving their food right away.
You mean llama spitting is not a
rule? Wash
rumor?
our hands first. We just want to make sure that our animals are nice and healthy.
Okay.
And then if you'd like, you can wash your hands again at the end.
Okay.
Hey guys, welcome back. Yes, I found a good signal.
Are you live streaming then?
Mm-hmm.
What's your channel gotta watch you right now?
Puddles at the theme park.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I still had to stop at elephants because it just there was no signal.
Oh, good. Yeah. Puddles at the theme park.
Yeah. Just look for the stitch in a Hawaiian shirt. I do normally do Disney, but I live here in San Diego, so.
No, it's good, yeah. So this is how it happens. You get to talk to them now.
Yes.
That's how they always find. I always watch Disneyland ones. So.
Yep. And everyone's all mad. I'm just like, sorry, I gotta go. There's no signal. But I fired back up, and everyone's like, oh, you're back.
Yeah, everybody needs to donate some more so you can have a Starlink in your backpack.
Yeah, actually, I don't make money off of this.
Oh, darn it.
That's okay. You know, that's okay.
All right.
I do it for the fun and do it for the community, and yeah.
And then once you're holding out the lettuce, we want to make sure we just hold it like this and let go. We don't want to put it like on our palm. Yeah. We don't want any teeth. Hold it out in front of you. We don't want to put it on the palm. I'm going to go ahead.
Here. We're coming, Ed. Hold on.
Please come and keep ready. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and Ed.
Is Ed impatient?
Yes.
Oh, great. Wow, Ed does not care. It's just like, food, where?
He is prepared. Hold it out. Yep, go right ahead. And we're just going to have you guys with Ed stay kind of in this area. We'll come over to the other side with the
How in the world am I going to hold this and feed Ed? All right, I'm going to put you guys down for a second so I can wash my hands.
And you hear it later, see what happens.
Yeah.
Look, he's coming out.
I did.
You did?
Okay. I want to feed that guy too.
Okay. Oh, is our guanaco coming over?
Is that what he is right there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Here you are. Did anyone not get any lettuce? Anyone not get lettuce? Okay, I'm going to give you a couple more pieces.
Oh, thank you.
If you could just make sure to keep distracting
Keep
Ed.
it ready. Here we go. Keep chomping. Here we go. Some more.
Dude, Ed, take your time, man.
You don't want to feed him?
All right. Whatever we're feeding, we got to go ahead and feed it.
Okay. No delay.
I want to save at least one piece for the other guy.
Okay, we need someone to keep feeding Ed. Here, I'll trade you.
I'll keep distracting Ed if you want to give me one more piece.
Most of our lettuce, guys, so whatever you feed, here, I'll give you a
Okay,
couple
yeah.
pieces.
Chewed up everything. You chewed everything. Look at you. Oh my, he's just trying to baby not like you.
Turn and smile.
I'm thrilled. Who got some food for him? Who got some food? You guys got food?
No.
I don't have any.
Come on,
Everybody done? Okay, as soon as everyone's done, we do need someone feeding Ed.
Ed,
Here we go.
got food, guys. Ed, feed it to them.
Ed.
Feed him, you guys. Do it.
Yeah, I know. You're going for the big piece.
Look at their faces.
There we go.
Oh, I
thank
love
you.
this.
There we go.
All right, if this is everything, then everyone go ahead and put your hands up. All done.
Okay, we're all done, guys. We're all sorry. We'll see you again. I love you.
Serious?
You're so beautiful. Look at
All righty, I need everyone to come this way, please.
Phooey, I lost the chat. Okay, hang on, guys. I cannot see the chat, so bear with me. Okay, just so you know, guys, I cannot see the chat on my screen. The chat has vanished, so I'm hoping that you all are still there. I see the stream is gone, but yeah, I can't see the chat.
That it has been shaved at the bottom. That is him. Absolutely. Something we do with all of our animals, including our elephants and pretty much everyone else, is we'll put in puzzle feeders. We'll put in different ways to find their food, to move around their environment, to explore. I don't know if you guys have ever been around a toddler. Our animals can be like toddlers, plus a few thousand pounds and teeth and claws. We don't want bored toddlers here. So we make sure to give them plenty to do throughout the day so that they are not getting bored. We're going to go ahead and head on back to the cart. So they are over here because we have a lot of them over with the rest of them by our elephant area. We have a tape here and some of our supposed to be part of this. Well, not supposed to. They're not technically part of this habitat. They're okay in here. They're fine in here. They're just hanging out here for a little bit of extra space. So that's why I kind of didn't address them. It's not like, oh, they're like, here's a secret. It's just, they're not the main draw. Main draw is the binoculars.
What kind of food do they eat?
They're rodents. They're going to eat similar things. Yeah. Plants, plant life, mostly root vegetables, things along those lines. Yeah. Tougher things because they have those nice big teeth.
And what was the name of the animal with Ed?
Guanaco.
Wanaka.
That's darling.
That is fantastic.
I feed him every day. He's a cutie pie. Yeah, cutie. Guanaco.
Yeah.
Come on. He's so sweet. A sweet little face.
I don't even have a house.
Came right over.
Alrighty.
Look, I got a good one. Look at that.
Now as we come around this corner, we are going to see our California condor that we got a peek at earlier. I know not everyone agrees with me, but I think he's very handsome.
Of course he is. Yes, we agree with
He's a
you.
beautiful boy. He's up on the top of this rock right
Oh,
here.
look at him. Oh, he's so happy. Oh, he's gorgeous. Beautiful bird. So efficient. Beautiful.
I'm going to give you guys just a second to look at him while I check us in.
And Cherry one. Possibility.
I was hoping so that's good.
Now, like I said, this is our California condor. The condors are actually one of my favorite animals to talk about here at the zoo just because their story is incredible.
Okay.
In the 80s, these guys were on the brink of extinction. There were 22 condors in the world, including in zoos, 22. That is not many. What was happening is that there were hunters going out, and they weren't necessarily poaching. They weren't hunting the condors, but they were hunting, and they weren't picking up what they were shooting, and they were using lead bullets. Now, condors are carrion feeders, meaning that they eat what they find, which is really important for the environment, because if, say, an antelope is sick and it passes, the sickness is going to spread into the grass, and it makes it so that it's not spreading to the other animals. So these guys can be really, really important for our environment. But it does mean that they were going out, they were picking up what these hunters were leaving, and they were getting lead poisoning. Really not good for the condors. What we did, we went out, we collected all 22 birds, which if you've ever tried to catch a bird,
All 22 of them? You got
all 22. We brought them in to zoos and rescue centers. We didn't do it ourselves. Well, we all went out collectively with rescue centers and zoos. We brought them in and we started work on detoxing, getting rid of that lead in their system, trying to raise future generations, trying to make sure they could go back out into the wilderness. We didn't want them too used to people. There's a couple of really cool documentaries if you guys are ever interested. One of them talks about how we had these babies and we would use these ginormous condor puppets to raise these babies so if they want to get too used to people. It was just phenomenal. It's really interesting. But we were able to detox them. We were also passing legislation at the time saying like, hey, you can't use lead bullets and you have to pick up what you shoot. And we were able to successfully pass that legislation, successfully reintroduce them into the wilderness. And I'm happy to say that as of today, there are over 500 condors in the world. We love talking about these guys. We talk a lot about the things we're doing wrong here and the things we need to fix. And I think it's important to remember that there are success stories. We can bring an animal back from 22 condors. I think it's a fantastic, phenomenal success story. And a coast springer, which is really fun to see. It's like a really small goat-looking guy. You can hear the animals of another type on the other side of that fence. We are right next to a middle school. So that's all right here as we're driving past. We're going to start. We are going to kind of drive up from here, and it's definitely worth walking even after. Homogenic baboons, there's leopards, there's wackos, penguins. There's our now this is also some place that I wanted to, you might be able to smell it. We have that eucalyptus in there for the koalas. That's also where we have our giraffes. There are cheetahs, there's a rhino, binturongs, really cool animals in that area. Highly recommend checking it out if you get some time later. In the meantime, for right now, we are going to head down our Bear Canyon by Clade, like we talked about earlier. So this is just all of our bears. At the top here is our Andean bear, also called a spectacled bear. Let's see if he is visible. You can just about see him back in that cave. This is Ron, and he is phenomenal.
Take it easy. I think it's sitting inside.
Is it only the one in there?
Yeah, it's just the one there.
Oh, he's still playing with his meat. He still had fun with that.
So yes, this is our Indian bear. There is only one bear in that area. Bears in general are also solitary, like we talked about the cats being solitary earlier. His dad is actually farther down the way. We'll see if we can see him a little later on. But like I said, here's an Andean bear. Also called the spectacled bear. You can see he has those markings, if you get a look at his face, around his eyes that look kind of like glasses, also called spectacle. Now, he is a pretty small bear as bears go. He's still pretty big compared to people. But as bears go, he's a little smaller. So you can see there's a lot of things to climb on in his area, as well as in this area. This is where we have our sloth bears. If you see any movement in this particular habitat, by the way, absolutely hang out, see if you can see. This is where we have our newer mom and her 2-month-old cubs. But she's been spending a lot of time in her cave in the back. So if you're not seeing any movement, most likely she's hiding, so you're not going to see her. But definitely worth checking out later on. I don't see her at the moment, but pretty cool thing to see. They are sloth bears, like I said. Again, bigger than the Indian bear, but still relatively small. You can see they have a lot of places to climb. They're able to climb. They're able to get up into those trees to hide food, make sure there's no predators trying to steal from them, things along those lines. Also to stay away from predators of their own if they have any, which some bears do. Just kind of depends on the species and where they're living. Oh, there is a sleepy bear in this area.
Oh my gosh, oh yeah.
You will notice that there's not as many things to climb here.
Right there. Oh.
Can everyone see him? Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. I just gotta scoot over.
Where are they? Oh, there.
Times most rescue programs. So, similar thing to the tigers we were talking about earlier is they lived all their lives together. They were cubs together. Optional, but in a zoo, not a problem. Now, as we're heading, about it anymore, a lot of them will kind of, they're going to be a little bit farther up, and for these guys, it is,
No, that was mine. Sorry.
Are you gonna head into this driveway?